Welcome to Church, Talkin' Boxing, Sunday night edition. If this is your first time watching, don't sweat it. We do the same thing every week. Sundays are for results, Mondays are for the schedule. Questions, comments, if you got them, drop them. If you need a link for a fight, send me a DM. And last but not least, share something of mine. Okay, so we had a pretty decent week of boxing. We had some ups, some downs, so let's hop to it. First up, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Thursday. Salita Promotions. Puerto Rico. First up, Abisel Cotto, undefeated in 10 fights, went up against Derlin Hernandez Geraldo for the WBO Global Featherweight title. Cotto was down in round 3 and 6. The undefeated nephew, a big loss against the underdog who was 13-5, now a WBO world champion. Next, Felix Parrilla puts away Jose Velasquez in 2 rounds, wins the WBO Latino featherweight strap. Solid way to start off the week. Some ups, some downs to continue on. Let's talk about Friday afternoon on DAZN from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Bittersweet here. The undercard was good. We got to see some new young talent. There's a couple kids on here that I'm going to tune back in and see if they improved. Let's talk about the main event. Kevin Walsh, Mick Conlan. I honestly thought the undefeated kid was not going to be strong enough to do it. And I still think he didn't. That being said, Mick Conlan took the loss like a champ that he is. And also pointed out that, he doesn't feel like that was his best performance. And that's what's leading him to thinking about retiring. Now, I do wish him happy retirement, but I do strongly hope he stays in the boxing world. I think his knowledge, his experience is something unique, and I think his mind is still crafted for the sport. There's plenty of young talent out there that can benefit from knowing and speaking to him, so I wish him manager, promoter, whatever that keeps him around us. Next, Germany. Friday from Germany, we had a world title fight, 2 world titles. The IBF and the IBO world featherweight straps. Nina Meinke, 20-3. Now a 2-time belt holder against Diana Vargas. Vargas put up as best as she could, but she lost a unanimous decision. It was a clean one-sided win. Solid fight for Meinke. Next, we're going to skip this. Next, let's talk about it. Saturday afternoon from the Ukraine. First one since 2022. Usyk Promotions. Now, he took the opportunity to put on a lot of young, talented Ukrainian kids on here. A couple of former medalists, a couple of interesting fighters that I will definitely follow up on. But more importantly, the main event was followed up by the protege of Usyk, Daniel Lampin, who took on Kristaps Bulmistars. Bulmistars was 14-4, now 14-5. Lampin remains undefeated at 13-0 at light heavyweight. Long, lanky. He's got that European bob. He's got the Usyk style a little bit. The guy's name is Lampin, which is basically fucking rabbit in French. It's perfect. Next, we'll keep it going. Matchroom boxing again on DAZN, but this time from London. A lot of stuff across the pond this week. Some decent fights on the undercard, but again, a lot of more of the same. A lot of young talent that, not entirely done cooking yet, but still some interesting pieces on the menu. Main event, George Liddard against Tyler Denny. An all-out war. Unanimous decision for Liddard, but nonetheless a war. British and Commonwealth titles were fought for. It was a fun fucking event. We'll keep it going Saturday night, again with DAZN, again with Matchroom, this time from the Casino Caribe Royale in Orlando, Florida. Undercard, a lot of the same here. I think one guy was like 15-0. Everyone else was like less than 10 fights in. Main event, Tero Moana Jr. against Curtis Harper. Harper didn't even last a round. I don't know. I want to see this guy box. I want to see his skills, I think we would benefit from somebody leaking some sparring footage of this guy. Next, unanimous decision win for Omari Jones. 154, puts away Christian Gomez easy. And main event, Carlos Adames, Austin Williams. Unanimous decision for Adames, WBC middleweight title. I honestly felt like Williams, there was something, like his skin looked dry, his eyes looked like he was elsewhere. I felt like he was already retired or checked out or already just wasn't all there. So I don't know. But ultimately, in the end, the right thing happened. Next, this time from San Bernardino, California. ProBox, free and live on YouTube. This is normally, a great event. And for the most part, it was, par for the course with these guys. A lot of young talent, a lot of good matchmaking. Unfortunately, Jocelyn Camarillo took on Isis Seal. Seal was 3-1, coming off a knockout, as a fellow boxing nut and friend Dave pointed out. 50 fights ago, she was still under suspension. She's supposed to go 60 days, so it's a bit of an issue. I don't know how the matchmaking fucked up on that. I don't know how her team thought this was a good idea. I don't know how the California Commission let this slip. Usually California's super strict. Usually ProBox TV, 50-50 fights. So this one slipped through the cracks, but we got to be vigilant, people. We can't let this shit fucking slide. This young girl's in a coma, so hopefully everything works out for her. Our thoughts are with her. The rest of the card was decent, and it was a good night of fights. There was a lot of Guatemalan love here. There was a lot of love for Lester Martinez. They were talking about Lester Martinez like he put away MBLE. They were talking about Lester Martinez like he's next in line for Canelo. I don't think Canelo knows who this Guatemalan kid is. And to be honest, a unanimous decision against Emmanuel Aleem doesn't necessarily lean itself towards a spectacular fight with Canelo. Now, and they keep mentioning, he's going to get the winner of MBLE Canelo. It's like, you guys need to calm the fuck down, Nobody wants MBLE Lester Martinez more than I do. I think MBLE would maybe be the only one, a chance for him to redeem himself, because there's no reason for Lester Martinez to have gone the distance with him, and especially after watching him fight Emmanuel Aleem. Now, I understand the ProBox guys are getting paid, and, you got to be good to the bosses, and if this is your guy, this is your guy, and I really like the story, and I get it. But goddamn, man, you got to stop with the hard sell. I know that check at the end of the day would keep ProBox open for the next 10 years. But Jesus, you guys need to start, deal in reality a little bit here, okay? The guy's not a fucking world beater. He is not lighting up the scene. He's not as, I remember guys coming up at 168 that got us excited all of a sudden. I remember Caleb Plant coming out of nowhere, right? This is not that. He's not had those fights, which is lending us towards thinking that he's going to give us a really entertaining, possible fight with someone. So far, I see him do stuff that keeps him in the fight, that keeps him doing enough to win, and that's about it. But I digress. That's it for me, guys. I will be back here again tomorrow night with the schedule. Make sure to tune in to that. I'll leave you with the same thing I normally do. Life is short. Just be fucking good to yourself and others. I'll see you guys tomorrow.